All right, good evening, everyone. 6:02. We're going to go ahead and start the meeting. Let's please take roll.
Commissioner Lede.
Here.
Commissioner Calandra. Commissioner Diaz. Commissioner Kreiner.
Present.
Commissioner Shergill.
Present.
Vice Chair Bray. Chair Vang.
Here, thank you. We'll go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone, please stand. Ready? Begin. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll go ahead and read the procedures for tonight's meeting. This meeting is being conducted in person and electronically. For each matter considered by the Commission, there will first be a staff presentation, followed by a presentation from the project applicant. Testimony from supporters of the project would then be taken, followed by testimony from those in opposition. The applicant will have the right to a final rebuttal presentation prior to closing the public hearing. In accordance with Section 13 of Article 2 of the Planning Commission Rules and Regulations governing length of public debate, all public testimony from those in support and opposition of the project will be limited to 3 minutes per person. The 3 lights on the podium next to the microphone will indicate the amount of time remaining for the speaker. The green light will be turned on when the speaker begins. The yellow light will come on with the soft bell ring when 1 minute is remaining. The speaker should be completing the testimony by the time the red light comes on, with the final bell indicating time has expired. All in-person public testimony must be presented to the Commission at the podium. Any testimony that references race, religion, ethnicity, economic status, national origin, or any other classification protected under state or federal law in a derogatory manner should be deemed irrelevant and will not be considered by the Commission in making its land use determinations. If you challenge these land use matters in court, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised in oral or written testimony or before the close of the hearing. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
Good evening, Chair Vang, members of the Planning Commission. I'm Israel Trejo with the Planning and Development Department. We have no changes to the agenda. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Do we have any comments or motions from the Commission to approve the agenda?
Yes, I do. I have something to say before we approve.
Yes, go ahead.
I wanted to recuse myself from item 5-C, ID 25-1169, due to financial conflict of interest.
Okay. Is that for the new item ID 251159? Okay, perfect. So we have a motion by Vice Chair Bray to approve the agenda. Do we have a second? Second. We have a second by Commissioner Calandra. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say no. Agenda is approved. Under consent calendar, we do have some meeting minutes for August 6, 2025, August 20th, and we have this consideration of request for a 2-year extension. I'm going to go ahead and go to the public. Do we have any comments from the public in regards to the consent calendar? I see none. We'll close all public comments. Do we have any motions from the Commission to accept the consent calendar?
So moved.
We have a motion by Commissioner Kreiner. I'll second it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. Consent calendar is approved. Do we have any reports from the commissioners? I see none. So before we go to new matter, we'll go ahead and have Commissioner Lede. Do you want to go ahead and excuse yourself then for this new?
It was the one that
It
you
was?
just approved on
Oh,
consent.
my apologies.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Sorry about that.
She can stay.
I still want you to stay. My apologies. Okay. All right, so we have new matters, ID 251159. This is consideration of annexation application number P2302268.
How do you move it down? This? Good. All right.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the Commission. My name is Juan Lara with the Planning and Development Department. And tonight, staff brief for its consideration of annexation application, pre-zone application, vesting tentative tract map number 6432, plan development, permit application, and the related environmental finding. These applications were submitted by Precision Engineering. The proposal is located on the west side of South Peach Avenue in between East Tulare Street and East Huntington Avenues.
My apologies.
I didn't realize Precision was presenting this. I have to recuse myself for business reasons.
Israel, we're going to go ahead and just wait until Vice Chair Bray steps outside. Go ahead and continue. I promise you I won't interrupt, okay?
Okay, no worries. Okay, yeah, the proposal is located on the west side of South Peach Avenue in between East Tulare Street and East Huntington Avenue. The planned land uses surrounding the site consist of residential medium density, residential urban neighborhood to the north, residential medium density to the east and south, and residential medium low density to the west. The land surrounding the subject property consists of vacant rural residential and single-family residential properties. The area shaded in the blue is the area where the proposed development is going to be constructed, and the area outlined in the red is the proposed annexation boundary. Staff from the Planning and Development Department met with representatives from the Fresno Local Agency Formation Commission and representatives from county planning staff. Both LAFCO and the county recommended annexation of the entire boundary, along with the South Peach right-of-way along the project site and the adjacent property to the south. And this is consistent with the City of Fresno and the county MOU tax sharing agreement. The proposal includes an annexation and pre-zone request. The pre-zone proposes to pre-zone the subject properties consistent with the respective planned land use designations of residential, single-family, medium density under the Fresno General Plan. But also the property to the south will be designated with the ANX Overlay District, and the ANX Overlay District allows for rural residential use of the property upon annexation to the city, so long as it was lawfully approved by the county immediately preceding the annexation. The annexation request consists of annexation to the City of Fresno and detachment from the Fresno County Fire Protection District and the Kings River Conservation District. The proposed tract map will be comprised of 44 lots on approximately 3.97 acres of property, bringing the total density to 11.08 dwelling units per acre, which is consistent with the medium density range of 5 to 12 dwelling units per acre. An approximately 4,709 square foot open space area is proposed along the northeastern boundary of the proposed subdivision. The plan development permit requests modification to the RS5 Zone District Development Standards to allow for reduction in setbacks, lot size, lot depth, increase in lot coverage. Further details can be found in the staff report for the requested modifications. And on the screen is an aerial image with the map laid over it so the commission can have somewhat of a view of what the development can look like once developed. That said, staff recommends to the City Council adoption of the environmental document and recommends approval. This concludes staff presentation, and staff is open for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments from the commission? None? Thank you. I appreciate it. Do we have the applicant?
Good evening, Chair Vang, members of the Planning Commission. My name is Luke Reisner with Precision Civil Engineering. We're the applicant on the project, and we also have Cameron Graham, the developer as well.
Would you guys like to use this time to kind of explain the project or anything that we should know about it? Any feedback from the community itself?
It's like staff said, I want to thank staff for the presentation. It's a 44-lot private gated subdivision. There's a pocket park. Yeah, I don't know. Cameron, do you want to say anything?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's 44 units. This is going to be a BTR project, so it'll be the first BTR project in town, so that's build to rent. The whole community will be rentals. So that's why we wanted to make sure there was enough parking. You'll notice that we squeezed the lots in a little bit. You'll notice there's extra parking on the sides. We wanted to make sure there was ample parking. So.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to state before I allow the commissioners to ask you questions? No. Do you have any questions? Go ahead, sir.
All right, so my question is, are these affordable rentals? Are they market value or affordability? How is it?
Market.
Market, okay.
Yeah, we didn't put any affordability no. So we're looking to about 2,200 to 2,300 per unit. They're going to be 1,600-ish. Oh, sorry. That's the lot size. So we're 1,350 square feet. We were just going over this earlier today. It's a 2-car garage. We're going to improve the back and the front. That's going to be part of part of the rent as well. So we want to what we're trying to do is a turnkey residence, right? Gated, clean. We're going to take care of all the landscaping. That's going to be included in the rent. So we're aiming around 2,250. That's 1,350 square feet, 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 2-story. We're trying to get ample parking. That's why you saw the parking on the sides and everything.
And what would be included in the unit? Are you guys including anything, any appliances or anything like that?
We had talked about this. I mean, I think most appliances will be in. I mean, we're going to have dishwasher, but we're talking about including fridges. But I don't know exactly where we're at on that. That just, if it's an incentive that's going to work for us and we can get people in and adding a fridge makes that difference, we have no problem doing that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other questions? Commissioner Kleiner?
So, Brother Chair, thank you. So my question is I'm looking at the vicinity map. I know that the lot alignment in the area that you're proposing, it's close to some residential areas. Has there been any conversation with any of the community regarding the project itself?
So this project's been going on for a while. Mm-hmm. We bought the land in 2021. When we bought the land, just north of it was 10 acres that was annexed, right, by TEF Group, who actually just sold the property. Again, they didn't end up developing it. And so at that time, we sent out a letter to all the neighboring, we're in a county island, right, in a duck. And so sent out a letter saying, hey, do you want to be annexed with us? We let them know about the project. The biggest thing that we got back from all of the people that lived in the county island was they did not want to be annexed in. Other than that, on the project, nobody had a problem with the project per se. It was just, we don't want to be annexed, we want to be left alone, but the project was, actually, one person did say on the backside that they were nervous with extra units next to them, but we did let them know that we're doing block wall, we're going to try to make it nice and, be as secure as we can. It's going to be a gated community. I mean, where it's located next to Sunnyside High School, Winco, that whole area, I just think a little added density that are single-family houses and that aren't apartments stacked on top of each other, people can actually have a home there, I think will be good for the area.
Any documentation whatsoever on both the community's ask and the response back? Do you have that documented?
Yeah, it should be included in the exhibit. It's like the last exhibit in the.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at it, but maybe I'm not finding it. But as long as it's documented, I'm okay.
Yeah, it's in there.
Okay.
It should be one of the last exhibits. I think it's exhibit N of the. Exhibit N.
Am I not seeing it? That's on me. If so, that's fine. As long as it's documented, I'm fine.
Exhibit N is the summary of the neighborhood outreach.
Got it. Thank you.
With the project itself, with it being gated, are you guys going to have security patrolling for safety purposes or anything at all, or?
We haven't, that's an item that we've talked about. We haven't budgeted it.
Okay.
The goal for this is to be, I don't want it to feel like a rental community. I want it to feel like people's homes, right? So that's why we did gated, that's why we didn't do open, right? So I'm hoping that secures it enough that we don't have to have security. But that area is a nice area. It's not, I mean, it's a nice area. Right now it's not nice because we have all that land and we're having homeless problems all the time. We're hoping that putting 44 houses there will make it a lot nicer, so.
Got you. Any other questions? Comments? Thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. All right, we'll go ahead and go out to the public. Do we have any individuals who would like to speak in support of the project? I see none. Go ahead and go to the public. Any individuals who would like to speak in opposition? You would like to speak in opposition? Now is your chance.
So it's not going to be low-income housing?
Do you want to come
Come
up?
to
Go
the
ahead.
mic.
If you want to go ahead and ask that question, please state your name, address, and then if you state the question, what we'll do is we'll make sure that we can ask the applicant too. Okay?
My name's Gumercindo Sanchez. I live right next door, 358 South Beach Avenue. My question is if it's going to be low-income housing, and then what kind of screening is going to be between us? Block wall, wood fence, privacy fence. What's going to separate us?
Perfect. Any other questions that we can ask the applicant too?
That's it.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Do we have any other individuals with questions or comments? All right, we'll go ahead and close all public comments. May I please have the applicant come up again? Yep. Can you go ahead and just provide us some insight? If we can go ahead and just confirm that low-income housing.
Yeah, as of right now, we're doing market rent. There is no low-income housing component to this project.
Okay, and then how about in regards to the barriers, the fence? Is it going to be?
Block wall
Block
is
walls.
what we're working on right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
absolutely.
Chair Vang, if I may add one thing. So the conditions currently state that a 6-foot wood fence is required along the west, south, and north property lines. Along the major street, along the front, there's a block wall required there. So the conditions currently state 6-foot wood fence. However, if the applicant is agreeing, which I'm understanding they are, agreeing to provide a block wall on the north, south, and west property lines, I think we should get the confirmation for that from the applicant.
We can do that. Applicant, may you please approach? So can you please confirm that the plan would be instead of doing wood fence?
Yeah,
you're
no,
gonna
we
do
had,
the block?
I think on one draft, we did have wood on, we had a block wall on the north and sorry, I'm getting west side block wall because that's against the residents. West on the east side, I think at the entrance was the only side that we didn't have block wall on, but like the U of the block wall on the project. Does that make sense? So the north, west, and south side will all have block wall. The only side that wouldn't is on the street.
There will be a block wall there too.
Oh, okay.
So basically, the code requires a block wall along a major street, which
Okay, there you go
that's
then.
part of the
Oh, that's what
conditions.
it was, okay.
So the other 3 property lines, they're agreeing to place a block wall, it
Yeah,
sounds like.
absolutely. Yeah, that's what it was.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so we'll go, public comments are closed. We'll bring it back to the commission. Do we have any final questions, comments from the commission or any motion?
I would like to make a motion to just approve it. We do have a housing shortage in Fresno, so I think more houses or apartments we have, it's better for the community, plus it's a good competition too for the renters. So I would like to request to approve it.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion made by Commissioner Shergill, a second by Commissioner Leday. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say no. Motion's approved. Thank you. If you guys can, would you guys mind exchanging contact information with this individual, just in case he has any questions too. Thank you, appreciate it. All right, up next, we have a workshop, the basics of street maintenance. Can we go ahead and bring Vice Chair Bray back out? Is she in the back? Let me go get her. Yeah, okay.
That'll work right there. Thank you.
All right, sir, go ahead.
All right, so let me wait for this to pop up. There we go. All right, good evening, Chair and council members, commission members. My name's Jairo Mata with Public Works Manager over at Traffic and Land Planning. Here to just give you kind of like an overview of our pavement management program that we have here in the city. So we'll go slide by slide. Here you go.
I appreciate the compliment, but you notice that we don't wear ties, so. we're
Oh,
not council
yeah.
members.
No, you don't, huh? All right. All right, so what is the pavement management program? So all it is the monitoring and evaluating and maintaining roadways for the purpose of maximizing the life of pavement while minimizing costs. So it gets broken down into a couple of segments. One is the assessment, which is the pavement condition index, which will follow up in the next slide. The next one is prioritizing. Streets that need maintenance or rehab based on the condition, traffic, and available funding. So everything is subject to what's available in the funds and kind of a list of priorities. Next is the treatment. So once we decide, take a closer look at these existing streets, we look at what kind of treatment is needed to bring up these streets to a better standard, just like, and those things are like choosing the right strategy for each segment of the street, like a slurry seal, crack seal, or repaving the road entirely. And then it's budget optimization. It's deciding where to allocate the funds for the greatest need and impact of the street. So the next slide is how the ratings work. So it works on a scale from 0 to 100. Good and very good is 70 to 100. That's for a recently paved or a like new condition, minor surface defects, but still smooth and safe. The next rating is between 50 and 70, which we considered fair. It's a noticeable wear, may need preventative maintenance, like slurry seal or a thin overlay. And then we have your poor, which is 25 to 50, significant cracks, rutting or roughness, frequent patching, bumpy ride, and needs rehabilitation. And lastly is you're very poor. The road is degraded to the point it cannot be rehabbed anymore, so we have to go in there and rip the whole road out and repave it completely with the new base rock and overlays. So here's kind of just an overall view of the city. Right now, the city, accounting for all the roads and streets that we have in the city, we're at a network PCI of 60. So we're meeting the fair for accounting for all the streets in the city. And then on the pie chart, you'll see we have road conditions that are very poor, in the 2.3% for the city in total. And then we have your poor, your fair, and your good. And then it just breaks down the different streets. You got arterials, which are like your Blackstones and your Shaw that have the median island. That network PCI is at a 62, which is fair. You got your collectors, which are like your Dakotas that have the continuous left turn lane in the middle of the road, no median island, which is again at a 64. And then you got your residential streets, your interior streets, fronting your houses most of the time, which are at a PCI level of 60. Here is just kind of a general map so you could visually see where these conditions fall at. You could see that the PCI of 0 to 24 kind of falls along like Whitesbridge, kind of close to the 180, and just another little section to the east side of Fresno. But most of it falls under the good, the fair, or very good. And then, I mean, you got your poor as well. All right. So right here is just a list of paving projects that Public Works has for the year of 2025. Some of these projects have already been complete, some are in the works, or some are coming up. So I'll just kind of leave this slide up here for a little bit so you guys could see. We got slurry seal, which slurry seal is just basically a thin coat of pavement that goes over the road that's meant to, seal all the cracks in the road and make it look smooth and brand new. And that extends the life of a road about 5 to 7 years and it's not a extensive job. It's kind of your quick fix for another 5 to 7 years to get a couple more years of that road. And then you got your capital projects that have repaving. So for Jensen, for example, from 41 to MOK, it's repaving. So part of the road will get reconstructed fully, and then another section of the road will be, you'll have what we call an overlay. So it's a thicker part of paving that you don't need to tear out the road completely and you just tear out like the first 25/10 of a foot off the top, and then you repave it. And then they'll have the more extensive paving where you tear out a bigger chunk of the road and you repave it with base rock and AC. So that's kind of what you're looking at there. All right.
On that list right there, does that include those 3 squares that were designated red of projects for 2025?
I would have to kind of look at it closely to definitely give you an answer of if those 3 squares, or it's actually 4, more or less, so.
The 154 on the left is further west from Jensen.
Mm-hmm.
That Jensen corridor area is our.
Yeah, I think that's already been completed earlier in the year, but I'm not too sure where those red squares fall at. I could definitely look into it and follow up with you to let you know. All right. Then, so right now, the current funding level, so right now we have $1.2 billion in deferred maintenance. That means we need $1.2 billion to be able to rehab and restore all these roads and make them all good. So that's kind of the deficit that we're at right now. In order so all the roads could be at the good condition or very good, we would need $1.2 billion to do that. We don't have $1.2 billion now, so on the next slide, I'll kind of go into what's available today. All right. So right now we have the Pave More program, right? So that's a $100 million bond that just got approved not too long ago by council. So this is a City of Fresno's multi-year commitment to repairing and repaving more streets using smart planning and dedicated funding to tackle decades of deferred maintenance, which is to kind of make a dent into that 1.2 billion, deferred deficit that we have to repave all the roads in Fresno. The program focuses on resurfacing major corridors, neighborhood streets, and school routes, stretching every dollar to get the most pavement restored. So that's kind of the idea behind the $100 million bond. Right now, funding sources, so as we mentioned earlier, we have the $1.2 billion in deferred maintenance. That's what we need today in order to rehab everything in Fresno. We get about $2 million in annual funds. We get Public Works is constantly submitting grant applications to get more money to be able to repave different areas of Fresno. But again, with grant funds, it's not just Fresno applying for these grant funds. It's different cities throughout the state that apply for these funds. So it just depends if we win. If we get the fund, then we get more money to be able to repay different streets. Then we have SB1 gas tax and Measure C. All right. There was a question too, sometimes it comes up, the city collects regional and new growth major street fees, but those fees are used for something different. So a couple of those things is whenever we take in these new growth and regional street fees from developers that come in and develop in the city. A lot of them kind of, have to pay into that. Some of the things that they pay for, that we use that money for, is to pay for right-of-way acquisition, design and engineering, and construction of roads. Another thing is developers could receive fee credits in advance and/or reimbursement after the project is accepted. So mostly this applies to when a developer builds beyond their boundary, beyond what they have to do per the conditions of approval. But then again, some of the improvements that they put in, for example, on a major street, they're eligible for reimbursement for the paving that they put in from curb to curb. Curb to curb meaning if they build a median island and the frontage street, the curb and gutter in front of their development, that pavement between curb to curb is what's reimbursable. A couple other things that those fees are used for is to pay for eligible major street bridges, and lastly, available for city capital improvement projects to widen streets in limited situations, not to exceed 50% of the annual revenue. And that concludes the brief presentation on the city street pavement program. Open to any questions if you have any.
Question.
Sure.
To follow up on Chair Vang's question about those little red
The
squares.
red locations? Uh-huh.
They're such a tiny portion of everything that needs to be done. Why are we not, doing those first so we don't have any reds?
That's a great question. Typically, the way kind of we look at the city as a whole, right? And we say, where could we get the most bang for our buck? If those locations are kind of, if we know there's development coming at those locations and the developer will be putting in that work, or if there's a project that's coming in that would be putting in, we'll say, for example, water, sewer mains, storm drain mains, we don't want to go out to these sections because the pavement program only covers paving.
So that's
we-
the case with those little red ones?
It
that are
can
on
be.
the
I'm
map?
not too sure if that's the case, but that's kind of what plays into what gets chosen as what we get paid for 2025. But we could definitely look at those locations and see what locations we're looking at there.
I know we have to look at the city as a whole, but
Mhm.
it seems like unless it's like you said, there's a project coming there, we should have no reds, especially when they're just the little tiny pieces.
Yeah, so absolutely, it's something we could definitely look into, but most of the time that comes to play as far as if we know future developments going in, we don't want to go in there and pave a road, right? And then they come in a year or two later, and then they're going to tear up the road to put in the sewer, water main, storm drains, and that work that
makes sense.
So. Mhm.
Commissioner Calandra.
I have a question about, like, companies like the telephone company, the wireless, the
Like AT&T, Verizon.
AT&T, Verizon, Xfinity. They go in and, put in their wires, and then they pave it over. And it seems like where they pave it is often the source of the deterioration of the street. And what does the city do to hold them accountable to make sure that when they go back and repair after they have laid their lines, that it's
do
not
it right.
going to be a source of trouble?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the city has what we call, when these companies do come in, say, for example, your AT&Ts, your Verizons, and they're proposing conduit within the street, the asphalt paving, right? What we do is most of the time, we look at to see where they're proposing these conduits to go. And if that road was paved within, we have I believe it's a 5-year moratorium. For example, if they're planning to put a new line in the street we just paved or reconstructed within the last 5 years, they would have to repave the whole section of the road and not just necessarily the trench that they put in that conduit. Or we tell them, hey, there's a 5-year moratorium here. If you're planning to put that conduit here, we're going to require to repave lanes of roads instead of just a payback trench paving. So then they kind of go back, look, and see, okay, well, maybe we could put the conduit or bore underneath the street or bore underneath the sidewalk to not affect those areas. But inspections does go out there, and they make sure that they repave the section of road that they trenched in, and to make sure that it's to standard. So it all depends on the width of the trench or not of what the pavement section that is that they have to put back.
I've just noticed that it's often problematic.
Yeah, Absolutely. I've noticed a section, I think it was on Fresno, near Fresno and Shields area, where they put in a new trench line there, and you could feel it, going over with your car. But then after a while, I don't know if it was just kind of temporary until they got final approval, because now you go over it and it's pretty smooth. You don't feel that divot. So it might be that it's just a temporary for now until they finish their work, and then they go back and put it to standard of what it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Yep.
How often is the department actually doing the assessment? Like going out there and assessing like certain roads, or is it more of, or if the public is expressing their concerns, we'll go out there and assess?
Mm-hmm. So that's one way, to kind of reach out to your council member and say, hey, these sections of road are pretty bad. Is there anything we could do? We'll get a request from the council member to go out there and look to see at what those conditions are and see what's available, what's in the pipeline to be able to either, move that forward or begin talking about rehabbing that section of road. I know also the city does nexus studies. I think the last one was 5 years ago, or I think they do them every 5 years. I'm not too sure, but I believe the last one was done 5 years ago. That gives an overall idea of what sections of the road are either very poor in the poor condition, so we could start talking and having those conversations of, where to go or where to look at next for these repaving jobs.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions, comments? Go ahead.
Comments.
Oh, man.
That's good.
All right,
I'm
here we go.
looking forward to it.
We're pretty much getting a D. I mean, the score, right? 60, we're at 60, what is 62 or 63?
D is passing in college.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I understand, but I think Fresno deserves better than that. So we're at like 62, right?
I think the overall was 60 for the entirety of Fresno, and then you have your breakdowns with arterials, I think was a 62, collectors is a 64.
So we're about to go to F pretty soon if we don't start fixing stuff up. We're about to go down.
So that's where they're at now, and if you look back at if we could go back to the slides, there's a certain section that says, these locations that are at a PCI of a 60 or between if we go back, there we go. Let me go back to that slide. So here we go. So we got the fair and the poor, right? So you're looking we're averaging 60. So we're at the fair location. So these locations is what we look at to say, hey, you know what? We're at a 60 at these different locations. We have these other locations that are very poor. Now we got to decide, do we go back and knock out a lot of the fair locations with the slurry seal to bring them up to say a 70 to 100, or do we do a more extensive work for a smaller section of road in the poor location to bring that up to good, but now we're leaving the fair to just fair for right now, and hopefully we could tackle that in the next year. So those are the kind of things that we look into and assess. Most of the time we try to get everything, but we try to get the most bang for your buck, right? If we see that there's a lot of roads that are in the fair condition and we can bring them back up to good with just a slurry seal or a small, what we call a thin overlay, then we'll try to tackle those. It just depends how much traffic you get in those roads. If it's a road that you receive a lot of traffic, there's a lot of people using those roads, and that's the one we kind of would like to focus more and bring it up to a better standard. But again, I don't know if you saw, but we got 1,700 plus miles of road for the entirety of Fresno. So we're going to have our goods, we're going to have our bads, but the idea is to try to tackle and use the money wisely, and hopefully with the pave more now, we'll be able to get a lot of more of these roads and hopefully raise the average from a 60 to, I don't know, B or better. But
No, we need to. I mean, I drive around Fresno a lot. Like, I actually visit a lot of areas. I mean, it is kind of disheartening to see that we're a $1.2 billion deficit. I mean, that's a lot of money. And every day, Fresno's population keeps on growing and growing and growing. More development keeps on happening, which is a good thing. We do need more housing. But at the same time, the beauty of Fresno, like, I grew up in Fresno. I have seen Fresno from the 90s to now. It just seems like our roads keep on deteriorating. I mean, they keep on breaking. For example, there's a huge shopping center, Old Fig Garden shopping center by Shaw and Palm. Very busy, high-end stores. But if you drive on Shaw, like, I drive a truck. I have a Chevrolet truck. I mean, I feel, with my big old tires, I feel it. And the thing is, I'm just kind of like, why is Shaw not, like, I know Shaw is fixed, right, a little bit before Palm Avenue, but then if you drive all the way around that shopping center, about half a mile, about a mile, it is a very, very bumpy ride. So why, and I've been watching that road for a couple of years, why is that road not getting fixed? And there are like thousands and thousands of people who drive on that.
So I don't know if the map actually shows the county islands. No, it does not.
It doesn't.
So that's in a county island.
Mm-hmm.
So quite a bit of Shaw Avenue is not in the city limits of Fresno. So, we have a situation in the city of Fresno where there are a lot of county islands where half of a street is in the city and half of it is in the county. And so the city may pave one side and the county doesn't, or vice versa. So you may have half of a street that is in good condition and half of it is not. But in that particular case, there is a large section of Shaw Avenue that is in the county of Fresno and not in the city of Fresno.
Interestingly, I'm in the county island. My office is there on Shaw between Roa and Palm. They did redo that. It got a cap or something between Roa and Palm, but then when you get to Palm, that's still a county island, and it's not done. So I never could figure out why that one little section got done, but nothing else.
I have something to say.
So, like, are we collaborating? I mean, I get it. I totally, I hear it. I speak to Brian Pacheco regularly. We were able to get Brawley fixed all the way from 180 all the way up till McKinley. Beautiful road. But the thing is, there are so many people, they travel on Shaw Avenue, and it's a business. It's tax for Fresno. Like, the money, people are paying taxes. So, like, how are we collaborating? Is the department, or is the city of Fresno and Fresno County, are they collaborating with each other to get that problem solved, instead of saying, oh, you got to do it, or you got to do it, and then the whole road is just like a disaster?
Yeah, I'm not really involved in the collaboration between the city and the county. I would imagine there are collaborations for certain things. I know just recently, within a year or two, county reached out because they're doing a repaving job for Jensen beyond MOK to the west side of Fresno. So, the county is repairing the roads where they can. Again, the county's jurisdiction is pretty big, right? So all their focus can't be Fresno. But again, the city does what we can. We only have $12 million kind of annually to allocate these funds. It'd be nice to tackle a Shaw, but maybe tackling the Shaw might eat up a lot of the funds. So we tackle Shaw a section at a time, and also be able to focus on other locations of the city. Mm-hmm.
And what's the reason? Is there a reason why are we in like $1.2 billion deficit? I mean, that's a lot of money. Like, how we got here? Is there a reason for that?
Would you say it's not necessarily a deficit?
It's not.
It's the cost.
Not a deficit. It's more what we need today to repair all of Fresno. So all of Fresno could be an A. So it's not saying we're behind $1.2 billion. It's just saying if we want to repair Fresno today, we need $1.2 billion to be able to bring all of Fresno up to the A. Unfortunately, I don't know where we would get $1.2 billion from.
There's a lottery right now that's close to $1 billion, but.
All right.
Yeah.
But we have programs that like the Pay More Now. The city's still trying to seek grant funding. We got the Pay More Now to hopefully just make a dent in that, in bringing these roads up to a better standard. So.
And do you guys also maintain the Freeway 99?
No,
with the city of Fresno?
That's Caltrans.
Oh, that's Caltrans?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Please, go ahead.
Okay, how about the 41?
Well, what happened?
You maintain the 41?
Do we maintain?
Yes.
No, I believe that's Caltrans as well.
Okay, that's been looking beautiful lately. I do understand your points, and they're very valid. There are several cities in the beautiful state of California that have beautiful roads, and they have tolls also. So maybe if those people that drive down Shaw don't mind paying a toll, then it would look a lot better. We have several options here that we can do in order to make our roads look more beautiful, but I don't want to take away the work that you guys are doing, so thank you so much for doing
no problem.
that.
I mean, we got Veterans Boulevard, right? That was
Absolutely.
a really big undertaking, and
Yeah.
I mean, it looks pretty good. But again, I mean,
You're doing
we
a
try to
great
do
job.
what we can with the funds that we have.
So maybe for future, maybe our next meeting, you can give us an action plan of what we, as commissioners and as citizens, can do. And perhaps you'll be satisfied with those options, and then we can decide, and the citizens can decide if they want to move forward with that or not. Maybe another measure, I'm not sure. There's options out there, but it takes more money.
Yeah.
I think the thing we have to remember too is we've been through quite a few downturns, 2008 and then COVID and now. And so when things get worse for consumers and businesses, city's income goes down too. And so there just hasn't been the money.
Oh, exactly,
And
yeah.
they've had to make serious cutbacks during all these bad periods. So the money just isn't there.
Not sure.
Yep.
So I do have a comment. I applaud you. I applaud your team for the work you've done or the work you're doing. I echo the sentiments of Veterans Boulevard. Absolutely incredible job. I think the one that I can applaud along with veterans is you have north of 99 that's being improved, but then if you look south of 99, the same is being done on Jensen, which a lot of times is kind of overlooked.
Yeah,
That particular part of town. And I echo what one of my commissioners, I believe it was Commissioner Bray, said. What about these red areas that we saw on that one map that was represented? Can you pull that back up for me, sister?
Sure, absolutely.
Where you have the different grades, and then you actually show the overall aerial view of the different areas. Kind of look like Skittles. I don't know if I'm hungry or not, but yeah, that one right there. I applaud it because there are areas that many times have been overlooked and missed, right, in our city. And the fact that you have such a hard task of going into communities that typically have been disenfranchised and left behind or forgotten just by way of roads is a good indication of where we're going. There's a statement that we always talk about, Chair, by the Chair, is that a complaint is not a solution. What solutions can we add instead of looking at all the negative things that have been done historically, systematically at times, and how do we fix some things that were done before you all even stepped into the position, right?
Yeah.
And so, yes, this billion-dollar crisis that we're in order to get our roads to where they are is a huge deficit. But if you go into communities where they've been asking and begging for roads to be redone or for it to be improved, there are communities that are celebrating. On Jensen and 99, that's the area I represent where my church is and my kids go to school. That Jensen, by that Chevron gas station between that 41 all the way down to Fruit, we applaud because Gaston kids, Edison kids, those kids with Edison Bethune, that new Fresno City College.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was crazy, right? And the roads that are done now, the way it looks now is absolutely beautiful for those individuals that are there and for the future projects
Man, we
that
got
are
the trails
coming.
going in right now on
Absolutely.
Jensen. You got
It looks
the
great, man.
church,
And that Starbucks that's coming in, that's right across from Gaston.
go.
It's the roads are incredible. So I echo what my Commissioner Bray and what my Commissioner Liddell just got through talking about is we can look at the negative on what's not been done, especially on areas like Shaw, which I agree, there is a lot of traffic that is going up and down Shaw. But there's also a lot of traffic because there's finances that are coming up, business that are going. But then there's communities that will never be able to touch and see Shaw that still need to look the exact same way. If we're given a C grade or a C plus grade on Shaw, we got to remember on Jensen and areas in East Fresno, it was F grades that were done. And if those areas are brought up at least to a C, I agree with what my sister just said. If we can get them to at least, what is it, that blue mark or even that yellow mark, that says a lot about our city. as we're looking at communities that have historically always been in the red, right?
Yeah.
So I applaud you. I applaud your team. I pray to God that He sends us the funding that is necessary to get all of this looking green. But if it doesn't, I give glory to Him and to your team for at least only having 5 areas that are in the red.
Yeah.
Because I know those areas that are in the red will one day hopefully be in the yellow. So
Hopefully,
keep up the good work, man.
Oh,
And I will say this, blue looks good if you're a Cowboy fan, but red looks better because the Niners are going to win the Super Bowl this year. So we'll just throw that out there, man.
Gold, red and gold.
Put that on record, Brother
Yeah,
Chair.
yeah.
Put that on the record.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate
Let's make sure we admit that from the record, please.
it. Oh,
So another concern here, I speak to a lot of people in Fresno. I attend a lot of meetings. There is funding on Polk and Shaw Avenue. What's the update on that? Polk and Shaw all the way up to Polk and Ashland Avenue. Is there any update on that? They've been talking about that for almost 2 to 3 years.
yeah, not off the top of my head. I could follow up and
Please.
let you know, yeah.
Because there was funding. I mean, I'm talking about Esmeralda Suria's era when she was talking about, we already got the funding, it's ready to go. Community wants to know when will that project kick in, because they already had the money for that.
What section were you looking at?
It'll be on Polk and Shaw all the way up to Polk and Ashland Avenue, west of 99.
All of Polk from between Shaw and Ashland.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah, Polk and Shaw and Polk and Ashland, correct.
All right. Yeah, well, I could look into that and follow up with you. For
And
sure.
then there is, we talk about, I don't really see the red there, but if you ever drive on Shields and Brawley, they actually made a brand new elementary school, just once in Carter Park, just once in Carter Elementary there. There's a shopping center, then there is a trailer park right by the trailer park. I know they kind of fixed it. That should have been red. I mean, they literally had these deep bumps in the road on Shields Avenue, between Shields Avenue and 99, Brawley and Shields Avenue. So there could be some part of county, but mostly it's like apartments, trailer park, and it really kind of breaks my heart, like to see, because those people will never speak up, and just driving through their neighborhood, I'm like, man, these people deserve better. And I think Fresno can do a better job, making sure that when we drive, it feels good. And I also would like to piggyback on, definitely I drove on 41 just a couple of days ago. Man, great job to, I guess, Caltrans. I mean, they made it really nice, but I think they should do the same thing to Freeway 99, because Freeway 99 is the heart of California. We have hundreds and thousands and millions of people. They pass through Fresno, and they judge Fresno by driving on Freeway 99. I hope Caltrans beautify 99 as well with how they beautified 41 as well. And also, last time I made a comment about downtown Fresno. Downtown is a heart of a city. Whenever I pull up into Fresno Street from 99, all I see is dead grass, fire that has been on fire. I don't see any plants, like any flowers. I think Fresno just deserves better, especially with the beautification of our 99. I know it's not your cup of tea, but I think hopefully Caltrans maybe can get my message. But I really appreciate you guys been working hard. But I think let's continue working hard, and whatever community needs to do, I think let's bring it up. Let's promote, like, what do communities need to do? What do we need? Because I know it's easier to complain, but the thing is, I think if we don't find out what the problem is, how are we going to ever get to the solution? And then sometimes the squeaky wheels, people who make a lot of noise, their things get fixed pretty fast. But I think our whole Fresno deserves I would say A+ service. So hopefully one day we can get there.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Any other questions or comments? Hey, well, thank you so much. I appreciate
no problem.
your
Thank you, guys.
presentation, and thank you for answering all these questions, too.
Yeah, no problem.
I really do appreciate
Anytime.
it.
Thank you.
Any reports from the secretary?
I just following up on the conversation, we asked Public Works to come make this presentation because one of the roles of the Planning Commission is to appropriately review new projects that are coming in, right? And how do we ensure that we are meeting the legal nexus between the impact of that project and the application of requirements related to that specific project. So that's a difference from what are the actual conditions in our roads, in our parks, in our other infrastructure today. So we have to differentiate as a planning commission between what is the impact of the project, like the one you approved earlier tonight, and the actual conditions that exist today. So for the general public, for those of us who care about the conditions that exist today, not necessarily about the new projects that are coming in, but how our regular daily drive, our daily life works, right? That's where we have to do a lot more research and determine what are we willing to invest in our own community, whether that's Measure C or other measures that are on the ballot for us to determine for our regular daily lives, right? So the city has, as Mr. Mata said, a limited number of resources to distribute among the various city projects. And so there is a consistent effort to determine how do we ensure that we are keeping all of our infrastructure, whether that's sewer or water or parks or roads, at a standard level. And so, that's our role as general public versus the Planning Commission. And so the Planning Commission's role really is to look at those individual projects as they come in and how do we implement the appropriate nexus and relationship between the project and the impact on the city's infrastructure. But I didn't have a planned report. I just was thinking about this good conversation up here, and I appreciate everyone's time tonight.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Let me also add, Measure C is coming up, for the community. So I would like to encourage our, citizens of Fresno County and City of Fresno, definitely, be part of the conversation. Like, you guys need to start attending these meetings. You need to start sharing your ideas because there are millions and billions of dollars on this ballot. So definitely, thank you for reminding the public about Measure C. So there will be more meetings coming up. Just find out when they're coming up and go attend. And definitely, let's just collaborate between the city and the county. Let's build hashtag One Fresno Love, and let's build Fresno together. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Do we have any unscheduled oral communications? Would you guys like to state anything at all? No? We're good. Thank you. Okay. Awesome. It's currently 6:59. Meeting is adjourned. Everyone have a wonderful evening.